Howdy, howdy, welcome back. I'm really excited today to share with you the next phase of this journey in working with our mind and working on becoming an observer, working on releasing some of our attachments to thoughts and feelings and emotions and sensations that come in. What we're going to work on today is what I refer to as a witnessing meditation. And this practice really has its roots in a lot of the Zen and Buddhist thought that I studied, especially when I was in college. I really, around 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, I was studying religious studies and philosophy in college. And I really fell in love with Buddhist thought. And it became a primary source of inspiration and exploration for me. And I did kind of you know, sharpen my meditative irons on a lot of Buddhist thought and meditation practice. So one of the things we're going to explore in today's witnessing meditation is assuming what I'll refer to as kind of a neutral mind and remaining in a witnessing state or in the observer state. So I know a lot of us who have been exposed to meditation are probably familiar with this concept of being the observer. Being of the observer and sort of kind of detaching and removing ourselves from the emotion and the hooks that get into us and kind of drag us into something that pulls us out of our center. And that's essentially what we're going to work with and explore in our meditation today. The big lesson of this meditation for me came in, I was probably mid to late 20s at this time. And I was deep into meditation. And I get into meditation and this image kind of just comes up in my mind. And it's, I see a conveyor belt. So this conveyor belt pops up in my mind. And on the conveyor belt, just like we're watching this video, right? This little, very nondescript box comes into frame. A brown cardboard box, no markings, nothing exciting, just kind of drifts in. And I remember in the meditation being like, oh, that's interesting. And that boring box just kind of like came in and then it left my field of inner vision and the conveyor belt kept going. No response, no reaction to that, right? For the most part, other than going, oh, that's interesting. Then comes an image of my face and I look really angry. Huh, that's interesting. And this image of my face comes into and out of my inner mind's eye, but I don't really engage with it. I just kind of like, oh, wow, that's interesting. I wonder what that's all about. Continuing to breathe, continuing to let things go, staying in my observer state, witnessing what is coming in and out of my mind. And then what comes in next is a picture of someone that I have an emotional reaction to. And so as the image comes into my mind's eye, in my mind, I actually engage with it. And this time I actually reach out to the conveyor belt and I grab the picture and I physically, not only just in my mind, but then like I can kind of feel myself getting a little bit upset. And I'm like, ew, why are you here? Ugh. And it made me mad. And so here I am in my mind's eye, kind of engaged with this photo. And I'm like, why? And I'm holding on to it. These are key symbols, okay? I'm holding on to this photograph. And then in the background, in this same meditation, this really bright, beautiful ball of light, kind of like the ball of light that I see and feel and imagine when I'm doing my chakra balancing or if I'm doing my soul force field meditation, the stuff that we've done together. That really bright, big, beautiful ball of light comes in. And I'm still engaged with this image. And I'm like, why are you here? What is going on? Ugh. I'm all mad. And that ball of light comes in and out of the frame and it kind of disappears. And the interesting thing is, in that moment, after the ball of light goes by, I put the picture down and then it just goes away too. And I continue to breathe. And then all of a sudden, the whole experience just kind of catches up to me. And if you've been meditating and perhaps you've had experiences like this in our practice together, maybe in your own time and in your own way, but at that point, is not uncommon to like get understandings, right? That just kind of come in from the meditation. So this little this daydream, this symbolism plays out, and I continue to breathe, and I kind of bring myself back to center, and then all of a sudden, all this understanding and awareness comes forward. And it was like, did you recognize how you let the box come and go? It came and went. No harm, no foul, no big deal. It just comes and goes. And then that image of you came in, and even you didn't necessarily react to that, and you just watched it come in and went out. But then all of a sudden you saw this one particular person, and you engaged with it. And while I was engaging with it, I was holding on to it. I wouldn't let it go. So I pulled it off the conveyor belt. It wasn't just going to keep going along anymore. And in the meantime, this really bright, beautiful ball of light, and we could think of that as like the light of loving awareness, the light of consciousness, the light of enlightened consciousness, came and went on the conveyor belt. And I didn't have a moment with it because I was too busy focused on this image and the emotion of the emotions that were being triggered by seeing this particular person in my meditation. You know, it was the whole thing. Like, this is my peaceful time, my peaceful space. Why are you here? Person doesn't know. They're not really there. It's just in my mind. And so here I am fighting with kind of like this mirage. All in the same time, that light of loving awareness comes and goes. I don't have a moment with it until I put that image down and then watch it go away by itself. So it was a revelatory moment for me where I recognized, oh, I'm responsible for really engaging with and holding on to those things. And it could be pleasant and it could be unpleasant. It doesn't matter. But the reality is that life really is like that conveyor belt, moment to moment. Things come in, here they are, coming into our momentary experience, boom, momentary experience, and then let it go past. It's now in the past. Here comes the future, the thing is coming, it's with us present, and then it's in the past. And that just happens. Life just kind of keeps going. And it was a really powerful revelation to me. One, because it showed me, well, if you just kept in your neutral mind and you just kind of engaged with what was right in front of you, and you said, oh, hello, angry face. Hello, person from my past. Hello, bright, beautiful ball of light. I would have never necessarily been emotionally disturbed one way or the other. I wouldn't have got too excited. I wouldn't have got too upset. I just would have kind of been with what came in and let it go as it wanted to come and go. So I learned a lot about consciously engaging with and like holding on to stuff that's not in the present moment. That was, somewhere between maybe 8, 9, 10 years ago. This is still a practice. This is still I'm still learning how to be with something and let it go without clinging to it or holding on. We're all doing that. We're all working on it. Otherwise we wouldn't be here. But it was a big lesson. And it's just something I wanted to share with you because I feel like that imagery and that lesson was so powerful for me. It did, it was a big shift when I realized, okay, I have the choice to just either let things come and go. I can engage with what's in front of me, but I also can let it go when it's time to let it go. I don't have to hold on to it and then miss the other stuff that comes in behind it. I don't have to be consumed with the past and allowing whatever's going to come to just breeze by me. So it was a big lesson in presence and being present in my mind and being present emotionally and being present energetically with the right now. Again, still working on this, but it created a big shift for me, and I hope that it might inspire a shift in you. So what we're going to do now together for the next 5 minutes, once we get into meditation, I'm going to encourage you in your own time and in your own space to do a soul force field meditation. Do the whole soul force field meditation. Set the grounding cord, connect to heaven, connect to earth, create a safe and sacred space. Once you've done that, then just see if you can kind of be with that sacred loving space, holding that mind, holding that loving consciousness, and allowing yourself to witness what comes in and out without grabbing onto it, without judging it, without celebrating it, without cursing it. It's just a practice of being non-reactive. It's a practice of being non-reactive. It's important to understand this because I don't believe, this is my own personal belief, and take it if it resonates. It's not my personal belief that we are meant to be unemotional, unstimulated, unreactive, or I should say maybe like an insensitive being. I don't think we're meant to just kind of be here like robots, stone cold, very stoic. Things come in and out. I don't necessarily know if that serves us, but what we can become is aware and not necessarily and non-reactive in the sense that we don't have something come in and then impulsively respond in an unconscious way. Moving into consciousness, moving into being a conscious being, would be allowing information to come in, recognizing it, acknowledging it, being with it, and then choosing, now how do we respond? So it's not about not being responsive, it's about being, I should say non-reactive. So I kind of misspoke a second ago as I think about what I'm trying to convey here. It's about being non-reactive, but being consciously responsive. So what this practice can do, it helps us get into our space of loving awareness and see if we can kind of just hold that space and watch what comes in as if it was a movie. Oh, my knee hurts. I'll take note of that. My heart rate feels a little high. I'll take note of that. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Wow, I'm feeling like so-and-so betrayed me earlier today. When they did that thing, when they said that stuff, that really hurt my feelings. Okay, acknowledge it, be with it, but breathe through it and see if we can kind of let that stuff come and go and just witness it. Very objective, very not attached to a reaction or a response. It's like as soon as we recognize it and acknowledge it, can we kind of breathe through it and say, okay, using my breath, I'm going to let this go and see what wants to come in next. It's just a practice. There's really not a right or wrong way to do this, but we're just practicing what I refer to as like a neutral mind, and allowing our thoughts and our feelings or the sensations in our physical body or the pain, whatever comes up, to just be information. And then when we get out of our meditation, we can then reflect and go, oof, man, my shoulder is really not feeling good. Maybe I should, ice it or go get it stretched or go have the chiropractor look at it. But it's not, oh God, my shoulder hurts. And then you just disrupt your whole experience, right? That's kind of what we're getting at. So let's go ahead and I don't want this to be a super long engagement. So let's go ahead and we'll enter some conscious breathing together. We'll enter some rhythmic breathing. We'll drop a grounding cord. And then for 5 minutes or so, and I'll give you the cue when it's 5 minutes, let's just sit and see if we can witness for 5 minutes. Just be a witness to what comes in and out. That way we don't feel any pressure, to sit for too long or anything. It's a practice. So we'll start with some baby steps, okay? So go ahead and get into your favorite meditation posture or position. And we'll just give you a second to find that space. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and enter into some conscious breathing. Just become conscious of your breath so we can become present with our body and the present moment. As you feel more and more connected to your breath, enter in a few rounds of conscious or rhythmic breathing. Enter into some rhythmic breathing. Deepen your connection to the life force energy, to your soul force. As we drop into that rhythmic breath, go ahead and drop a grounding cord. As you drop that grounding cord, becoming very present and anchored to the here and now. Just allow whatever thoughts, sensations, feelings, sounds, or whatever to just come into your awareness. And just see with using the breath if you can kind of breathe through each of those sensations and allow them to come and go with full awareness, but never really hanging on to anything for too long. So just use your breath to kind of breathe and move you through as if the breath is the force that powers that conveyor belt of experience in and out of your moment-to-moment existence. Just allow your mind to be neutral, allowing things to come in and out. ahead and take 3 big energy clearing breaths in to come back to the present moment. Coming fully back into our body in this connection. One more time, big deep breath in. Exhale, release. Kind of come back to the present moment of now. Okay, so some interesting things. Just reflecting from my experience here doing this with you. I don't know if you can hear the ancillary noise, but I'll tell you what is going on my end. I've got a bunch of flies buzzing around me, landing on me, crawling on me. I could hear planes coming in and out, like a lot of planes, and obviously now it's quiet. And also there's a shooting range just over the hill, and could hear some shots being fired. And I don't know if you can hear that on your end in the video, but what a great practical example of, can we be in a neutral space and allowing things to come and go and allowing them to pass without being reactive? Do you see that fly? I could have spent my entire meditation, oh, these flies, oh my God, the planes, oh, and I can hear the shots, oh, and I'm just inside, just kind of like getting angry, right? And that could be that could have been a thing. And maybe you were listening, and maybe you can hear the flies buzzing around, or the shots being fired, or the planes buzzing overhead, and you're sitting there going, oh my God, I'm supposed to be meditating, but these things, there's so many noises. It's an interesting opportunity, right, to practice being in a neutral mind and being in a neutral space. Sometimes when I meditate, I very, very clearly want just peace and quiet. But I have come to learn and understand that it's pretty difficult to get there. Even if you can quiet the noise inside your mind, it's tough to get that anywhere. And then it's all these things that you don't have control over. And so there's an element of like being at peace with allowing things to be what they are as they come in and out, not being reactive, not engaging beyond the awareness, so that it becomes a moment of tension or conflict or inner turmoil. That's really just all about you wanting to control the moment. I want my peace and quiet, but there's a plane overhead, there's a fly on my face, there's gunshots over the hill. Like, all those things are justifiably disturbances, but at the same time, it's actually a kind of a great little metaphor for life. We don't have control over everything, but what we do have control over is, can we remain in that loving space? Can we remain in neutral mind and not be reactive and say, okay, so there's the gunshot, okay, there's the plane. I'm gonna keep breathing, focused on my breath, I'm focused on the next moment, and then a couple breaths later, the plane's gone. The flies have gone away, whatever, right? So it's temporary, things move, things pass. So this is such a great opportunity to work with that lesson of being unattached, of non-attachment, of allowing things to pass, and not harming ourselves by engaging with something any longer than we have to, if it's a moment. And I think there's a lot here that if we really practice it, can really take root and be transformative for us in our lives. It helps us get in touch with maybe a little bit more of our loving truth, living with a loving awareness, and maybe most importantly, learning how to live and respond from a loving or a neutral place when it is time and appropriate. It's how we step into conscious co-creation, not just running around like a bunch of reactive chickens with our head cut off, but chickens with a conscious present mind and saying, I'm going to choose to respond to this feeling, that pain, this disturbance. I'm going to choose to respond in this way. And that way we gain a lot of control and mastery over ourselves, which is really, truly the only thing that we can master and have control over. So give this a shot, practice it, follow the prompts connected to this video. I'll be so curious to hear your reflections and what comes up for you, and how you feel like you're working through this, and how you feel like it's benefiting you, and what practical ways can you apply it. I'll be curious to hear about those reflections as well. So thanks so much for being a very conscious warrior, for for being present and working on your neutral mind and your witnessing meditation today. And I hope it serves you on your journey to understanding who you are and what your loving truth is. And then maybe most importantly, helping you live in alignment with that loving truth more often than not as you start to respond from a more neutral and non-reactive place. I think there's a lot of upside to deepening this practice and mastering it. So once you're done working with and mastering the witnessing meditation, then I'm going to invite you to come join me in the creative self-expression chapter, where we're going to talk about tapping into the expressive dimension of ourselves, learning how to take thoughts and words and emotions and inspiration from the inside and express it outwardly through creativity, because creativity is an essential part of what it means to be human. It's an essential part of what it means to be a spiritual being on this planet, living and breathing life. So it's a fantastic opportunity to get in touch with ourselves, to deepen our understanding of our inner truth, and most importantly, can we work on learning how to live and express that out in reality? So whenever you're ready, click into the next video. We're going to talk about creative self-expression as an exercise for self-realization. We'll see you there.